The magician's mask is cracking. Light is leaking into their oldest shadows. Someone in your bloodline weaves curses. God just cut their final thread. They called it protection. It was bondage dressed in prayer. The one who controlled the family fire is being burned by it. Their hidden altar is collapsing beneath their own name. This time, your spirit won't bow to the familiar spell. The one who worked against your joy has reached their final incantation. Divine judgment has entered the room they locked for generations. They hexed your peace, but heaven just reversed the curse. That familiar smile was never warmth. It was witchcraft in disguise. They buried truth with rituals. But truth has risen to testify. The one who moved things in secret will now be seen in shame. They once whispered your name in darkness. Heaven is now shouting there's injustice. The silence in your bloodline was paid for with chains. It ends now. Their reign was built on fear. You carry a different power. The spell they cast is shattering because your spirit remembered who you are. They touched the sacred wrong. Now the sacred is touching back. You were chosen to end what they began behind the veil. Someone in your family traded light for power. And now power is collapsing. The magician has fallen, and you were the divine reason. Their enchantments worked, until your soul started singing louder than their spells. You were never cursed. You were cloaked until this very moment. The ancestral chains have snapped. The blood cries out differently now. They were warned. The final warning has become their undoing. A reversal has begun. The one who summoned shadows now lives in one. That dream you couldn't explain? It was their final working crumbling. Their power had a price, and the receipt is now due. You carry the voice that undoes every spell they tried to mute. What was hidden in your family has been seen by the throne. No more silence. The sorcerer in your story is losing their grip. You survived things they thought would end you. That's their greatest fear. Their altar cracked the night you forgave yourself. The one who danced in secrets now trembles under truth. Every candle lit against you is now smoke in the divine wind. They sent spirits. God sent fire. Their hands touched too much. Now heaven touches back. They mistook your pain for permission. They won't finish what they started. Your name is protected now. The magician's days are numbered, and you hold the final hour. Their curses returned, not because you fought, but because you healed. The one who cursed your love life just buried their own. Their rituals grew teeth, but your light broke every fong. You were always the key. That's why they tried to hide you. Their spells have grown weary. The angels have not. They'll speak your name again, but this time in fear. That relative who saw everything just got seen. Their hands were busy crafting ruin. Now they tremble with regret. They were the gatekeeper of pain. But you've unlocked the exit. Heaven did not forget what they did with your hair, your name, your blood. If this touched your soul, don't scroll. Comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. Their spell unraveled the moment you spoke truth in that room. You weren't paranoid. That energy wasn't yours, it was planted. Your joy threatened their ritual. That's why they tried to dim you. They anointed their lies with oil. God just poured fire. That blessing they gave you was binding. It just snapped. The magician wore your grandmother's voice. But it was never love. They called you cursed to keep their hands clean. Your dreams were hijacked. The thief has been named. What they tried to bury in your womb, God has unearthed in your voice. They hexed your relationships, but the next one will be heaven chosen. They touched your clothes with spell work. The fire is now in the fabric. That headache wasn't natural, but your healing is supernatural. They visited your crib to steal destiny. The angel never left. Every time you failed, it fed their altar. But their altar is cracked. They thought you'd die under the spell. You became the spell breaker. You carry a name that once made them powerful. Not anymore. They marked you with fear. But love marked you louder. Someone in your family saw the light in you. and hated it. Their final ritual failed because heaven watched. Their potions couldn't hold you. Your prayers broke them midair. That uncle's protection was poison. The antidote was always your awakening. The old mirror cracked. It's time to see, clearly now. They tried to make you forget. You remembered. That illness came with intention. The intention failed. Their eyes weren't just watching. They were binding. Not anymore. They couldn't curse what God already redeemed. They borrowed your photo. The fire returned to sender. You were the sacrifice they hoped wouldn't rise. You carry the key they were warned about. Their rituals worked until you loved yourself. You weren't the black sheep. You were the scapegoat. Their power is unraveling because your light no longer bows. The family silence protected their shadows. You are the disruption. That blessing bracelet was laced with their fear. Remove it. They're afraid now because their control is dust. You were never confused. Their darkness was convincing. The bloodline is split between their spell and your salvation. They conjured storms. You walked on water. They stole your sleep. But dreams are returning with thunder. Their final chant ended in your name, and you still rose. You weren't weak. You were being targeted. They masked their witchcraft as family tradition. Their house of mirrors is collapsing. You're finally seeing true. They mistook your silence for surrender. It was a sacred gathering. That cleansing ritual was a binding. It's undone. Your ancestors screamed through you. That's why you cried for no reason. You are the bloodline breaker, and they feel it. That moment you almost gave up, that was their last hope. Their spell broke when you stopped seeking their approval. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, comment your favorite quote and subscribe for more. That smell in the hallway wasn't perfume. It was a presence, and it's gone. They fed the spirit your shame. You forgave yourself, and it starved. Their influence ended the night you said, I choose peace. You weren't imagining the cold. You were walking past their altar. They used your pain as a sacrifice. Heaven reversed the altar. That family photo carried more than smiles. You've broken the attachment. The curse ends with you because you dared to look back in love. They worked against your child. Their hands will feel it. The final name was spoken. It wasn't yours. You're free. Their silence was strategy. Yours was divine instruction. They tried to close your throat, but your voice now carries fire. The house knows. The walls remember. But the spirit is cleaning it. Your peace is offensive to the dark they protect. They mourn your awakening more than your downfall. Their hands shook when your name was spoken in prayer. You stopped visiting, and their power began to rot. They invited spirits into the room you grew up in. Light just entered. The sweet, one in the family hides serpents and lace. Your absence dried up their access. They planted fear in your food. Heaven exposed the recipe.